Mamie, say hi to everybody. She's just taking it all in. We also have our Department of Children and Family Secretary, Shevaun Harris, Senate President in Florida, Wilton Simpson, Senators Dennis Baxley and Keith Perry, Representatives Stan McLean and Joe Harding, our Board of Education member, Monisha Brown, who helped do this and works with Walmart. And then we have a number of families here, including, we're going to hear from Kylie Park, who is a husband with four children. So if you look at what's going on with the economy, well, there you go. It's just... So we've been able in Florida to outpace the nation consistently, particularly over the last 2 years, as a lot of places were restricting people and costing jobs. We really worked hard to lift people up and protect jobs and protect businesses. And the result is people really have wanted to be in Florida, not only just to work and live, but we set a record for domestic tourism in 2021. We actually beat New York for foreign tourism, which they usually win every year. So you see a lot of that. And we've had we've been better than the national average in unemployment. If you look at our budget, you know, they estimate how much revenue comes in, and then you fashion the budget based on that. So the current budget, our current budget ends June 30th, and they forecast whatever the revenue, $101.5 billion is the budget top line. You know, that's actually less than half of New York State's budget, and we have no income tax, but we have better services, roads, better performing K through 12 schools, and the top-ranked public university system for 5 years in a row. And so you have that, but what happens is the revenue comes in and they forecast it. If the revenue comes in less, sometimes the legislature's got to come in and make changes to the budget because we have to have a balanced budget. Well, in this case, it's been the total opposite. Every time they forecast the revenue, even though we have no income tax and this low tax, you have massive amounts of revenue coming in because of all the economic activity. So in April alone, we had $750 million just above estimate come into Florida. So by the end of June, when they close the book on this fiscal year, you know, we're going to end the fiscal year most likely with our largest, well, definitely with our largest surplus in the history of Florida. But it's going to probably be over $20 billion. And so we were proud to be willing to stand up to make sure that the state was remained vital and was moving ahead. You know, we did not want it to descend in some type of Faucian dystopia. And if you look at what's happened in some of these other places, they've been hollowed out, and a lot of these places have not even gotten back to pre-COVID. We actually have more jobs in Florida than pre-COVID, and there's a lot of places where that hasn't happened yet. So we're happy to do that. We're proud to be good fiscal stewards, but yet, you know, what have you seen over the last 15 months? You've seen the federal government just printing trillions of dollars, spending unimaginable amounts, and you know, they were warned that if you did this you were going to spark inflation. They said no, you won't. Then when we saw it, oh, it's just a blip, and then they said this, and they have all these excuses. The fact of the matter is that we have the worst inflation in this country in over 40 years, and that is something that even as people's wages have gone up, even as they've had opportunities for jobs and all that stuff, that's all good. But if your wages are going up 8% and the cost of everything going up 10% or 15%. And when they say it's 8.5% increase, that is completely understating what it is for the average American family, because most of the stuff that they count that is not as significant isn't significant to your daily lives. The things that are significant to your daily lives, like fuel, like groceries, utilities, all these things, they're much higher than 8.5% increases. And so that's where we find ourselves having to fight, you know, I think really a federally induced inflationary spiral. We'll see. The U.S. did report report pretty decent job numbers today, but you actually have in Florida, we've got a lot of positions that are unfilled. And so whatever our jobs are, we have the ability to hire more people. So we'll see kind of how that shakes out. But we had a very poor growth, GDP growth number most recently. We'll see how that shakes out. But you have the inflation. Now you have the Fed's going to keep raising interest rates, and it's going to slow down the economy. So there's just a lot of storms on the horizon when you look at what the federal government's done. Now the good news is in Florida, and I hope none of that happens, but it's prudent for us to be planning to be able to handle this if it happens. You remember 2008 and 9 when you had the downturn. I mean, you know, Florida really got knocked on its knees. You had massive budget holes. I mean, it was a real big problem. In Florida now, you know, if you have a Biden-induced recession, which again, I hope that doesn't happen, but if you do, and we end up having a different revenue forecast, I don't need to change anything. The only thing I need to do, grab some money here from the rainy day fund, plug it in, and we just keep going. Like, you know, we're not going to miss a beat. So that's really what you're supposed to be doing. But we also wanted to figure out what could we do to make an impact to help mitigate the harm that's been caused by this inflationary spiral. And so today I'm going to sign into law HB 7071. This is actually the largest tax relief in the history of the state of Florida, $1.2 billion tax relief package. And now, you know, we're proud we don't have an income tax, but you know, if you had an income tax, you just cut the tax rate. So you got to figure out ways in Florida. What can you do for tax relief? Given, thankfully, we have no income tax. How do you do it to make a difference? So the legislature put together a number of proposals and ended up putting in a really significant thing. So the tax relief you're going to see are going to see breaks for really critical needs like gas, diapers, disaster supplies, tools for skilled trades, recreational activities, you name it. And so families are going to be able to save for things that really matter for them. So we're doing diaper, clothes, and shoes for babies and toddlers will be tax-free for 1 year beginning July 1st, 2022. Children's books will be tax-free for 3 months starting May 14th, and that'll go through August 14th, leading right into the school year. So you have an opportunity to save. And then 14-day back-to-school tax holiday will run from July 25th through August 7th. We're doing $200 million in gas tax holiday, so that'll reduce the fuel tax on October 1st by about 25 cents a gallon. You know, you look at the fuel, and I mean, I've not seen it under $4 for a long time. You know, I'm seeing $4.20, $4.30 very consistently. Actually, in other parts of the country, they're over $5. You know, part of it, they have higher gas taxes than we do. But, you know, you've not seen any real relief. And to say you're just going to take some from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, that's a political stunt. That is not going to make up for all the lack of production and everything that the administration has done to try to stop us producing our own energy. And we were energy independent prior to January of 2021. And so we need to get back with that. People, the thing is there's certain things when you have inflation that you can maybe dial back, certain entertainment, whatever. People can make decisions with their family budgets. You really can't just not get around to your job. So, you know, you got to fill up your gas tank. You know, you really, these are things that particularly for people that are commuting to work. And so what I think the D.C. should be doing is they should be unleashing American energy right now, because it would make a difference, and we got to do it. We pride ourselves on being prepared for disasters like hurricanes. You know, we pray we don't get hit with the big one, but you got to prepare and you got to be ready. And so our annual 14-day disaster preparedness tax holiday will run from May 28th through June 10th. So any supplies you need to be able to make sure you have what you need in the event that we do have a significant weather event during hurricane season, you're going to be able to do that tax tax-free. They're also adding, we understand that, yes, having like a generator, having the flashlights, or all the different things that you would need as part of a hurricane preparedness kit is important, but we also want to give people incentive to be able to make improvements on their own property and their own home. So actually this bill is going to do a 2-year tax holiday for impact-resistant windows, doors, and garage doors, and that starts July 1st. And so if you want to fortify your property, you're going to be able to do that tax-free. And, you know, some of those things, it's not like you can fortify the property for $50. You know, this is a significant investment, and so the savings will be meaningful, and we encourage Floridians to take advantage of that. We want to help. One of the things we've done in Florida is say, you know, we're proud of our public university system. We don't let them raise tuition because I think it's outrageous how high tuition is in many parts of the country. So you can be a Florida resident, get a Bright Future scholarship, go to these state universities, and you're not going to have to go $100,000 in debt. We think that's very important, so we're proud of that. But we also know that a 4-year university is not the only way you can be successful. And if you look at the demand right now in our economy for skilled trades, people that have the ability, I mean, Walmart, they just announced they're doing $110,000 for starting salary for new truck drivers. You have a lot of companies in Florida for truck driving, they'll give you a $15,000 signing bonus right off the top. You look at the demand for welding and HVAC and electrical, it's never been higher. These are folks that are going to be able to go really right out of high school if they have the certification, and they can start making a very good living. And the thing is, in a growing state, you have opportunities. If you're in electrical, you can start your own company. It gives pathways for entrepreneurship. And, you know, a lot of the younger generation don't really know how to fix things like some of the older generation did. I mean, you know, you go back, like my grandparents, they would fix everything around the house themselves. Now, you know, if you have electrical HVAC problem, most people call in. So this just gives more opportunities. And so, you know, we're supportive of that. We've done a lot on vocational education, but what we thought we would be able to do, and this will help people working around their house too, but we did the first time ever 7-day sales tax holiday for tools and home improvement items. So things like power tools, workbooks, work boots, and toolboxes. And so this tax holiday will run from September 3rd to September 9th. So again, if you need stuff around your house, fine, but these folks who are making a living on that are going to be able to save, particularly as they have to buy more and more supplies. We also want to make sure people are able to be energy efficient. So there's going to be a 1-year tax holiday for Energy Star appliances running from July 1st of 2022 all the way till June 30th of next year. So I think that'll be meaningful. And for the second straight year, we are going to have a 7-day tax holiday for what we're calling Freedom Week. It will run from July 1st through July 7th, and it will be tax-free for boating, camping, fishing, outdoor, and sports equipment so that families can afford a fun summer. So we're going to continue to do this. If you want to look to see when these holidays are, you go to floridarevenue.com/sales tax holidays. Again, floridarevenue.com/sales tax holidays. I wanted to be able to give the opportunity for the First Lady, where is she at, to be able to come up. There we go. Now, just so you know, the diaper holiday was the legislators' idea. I wasn't doing it for self-interest, but we are going to be able to take advantage of that in our family. So.
And I would say with Wilton Simpson, this was about 2.5 years a little late, because we have 2.5, I would say we have 1 child in diapers now, but 2.5 years ago, we had 2.5 kids in diapers. This is Mamie's first press conference. She's very excited. I will say this, though. Next time we do a press conference, we're not going to do it next to a playground.
All right. Madison? Madison, you want to say anything? Huh?
She's out of diapers. It doesn't apply to her.
You don't do the diapers. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, again, when you have prices going up, there's certain things you can cut back on. you got to do the diapers. There's really no way around that, and so I think that'll be helpful for a lot of our families throughout the state of Florida. So, okay, well, we're going to be able to hear from some other folks right now, and so we're going to start with Senator Simpson, and then we'll hear from Secretary Harris, and then we'll hear from Kylie Park.
Thank you, and how about America's governor, Ron DeSantis? Yeah. In Florida, unlike so many other states, we don't raise taxes, we cut them. And we cut them often. Year after year, we reduce the tax burden on working families. In the last 10 years, we've cut more than $10 billion of taxes. We spend less than we take in. It's a part of our DNA of a conservative-led government in the free state of Florida. I'm extremely proud of this tax package because it is broad-based and will impact all Floridians, from tools for blue-collar workers to supplies for everyday school children, and we all heard about the diapers for our young families. It's going to lighten the load, particularly in this terrible time of Biden inflation. Thank you, Governor DeSantis and Speaker Sprouse, for all your work in this area, and we're proud to give this relief to working families. Thank you.
Okay, DCF Secretary Shevaun Harris.
Thank you, Governor, for your incredible leadership and always looking for ways to improve the lives of residents of our state. You show us every day that you're putting families first.
Oh,
you can't hear me? Uh-oh. Well, all I said was thank you, Governor, for being the best governor ever. I also want to thank all of the legislators who voted for this significant piece of legislation, President Simpson, Speaker Sprouse, and all the legislators here this morning. These tax reductions will have a major impact to families with young children across the state, including the thousands of wonderful foster and adoptive parents who've opened up their homes to children in our care. For the next year, as the governor stated, baby and toddler clothing, shoes, and diapers will be exempt from taxation. Florida is home to more than 1 million children under the age of 5 and welcomes 600 newborns each day. As a mom, I know firsthand how helpful this relief will be. My kids are older now, but I remember all too well those earlier days. They grow so fast, and it seemed like my husband and I were always running to the store buying new clothes and especially diapers. In the first year of a child's life, it is estimated that parents go through approximately 3,000 diapers, or an average of 8 diapers per day. Woo! I also love that children's books will be tax exempt for 3 months because we know the importance of reading to children when it comes to early learning development. This bill also comes at an opportune time as families grapple with the rising costs of everyday expenses like gas, food, and clothing. I know every penny saved counts. Under the First Lady's leadership, the department has implemented Hope Florida, a pathway to prosperity, which is helping thousands of families across the state experiencing hardship. The goal is to help them on an individualized path to economic self-sufficiency. Every day we get calls from parents needing assistance with meeting their kids' basic needs. In addition to the help offered by so many of our community partners through this program, this tax relief will help stretch the dollars even further. There's so many wonderful things about this legislation. I'm so excited for the impact it will have. Thank you.
All right. Okay, we got a great mother here, Kylie Park. Where are you? All right. Hey, buddy, how you doing? Good to see you. Is your brother right here?
Did you want to go to Daddy?
You guys stand right over here.
Try to go to Daddy the whole time.
Hey, buddy.
Okay. Governor, First Lady, thank you for the honor of being here today. My name is Kylie. This is my husband, Matthew, and these are our 4 boys, James, Nate, Harrison, and our newest, Ethan, who's 5.5 weeks old.
Oh, wow.
I was asked to share with you what this tax relief package means to my family and me, and how much it's going to help us and other families here in Florida. As you can probably guess, our budget is pretty tight, having 4 little ones, 3 who can eat their weight in snacks, being a stay-at-home mom, and the wife of a first responder. Every penny counts. With rising prices everywhere, every trip to the store is a balancing act, trying to figure out what we actually need and what can wait until our next paycheck. With 2 still in diapers, a year-long tax exemption for diapers, clothing, and shoes is huge for us. Add to that the annual back-to-school tax holiday and the gas tax holiday for October, and these savings will be significant for my family. All these savings will translate to our money being spent on things that are important to us, like making memories with our kids. The tax relief will help put money back in the pockets of families just like mine, so we can save for things like our kids' future, and that's the kind of stuff that really matters. So thank you, Governor DeSantis and our legislator, for always looking out for Florida families. This inflation crisis we are currently dealing with affects all of us, and this tax relief package is very needed. So to sum it all up, I can't imagine living anywhere else but right here in the great state of Florida.
Okay, I think it's time to make this official. Does Madison want to be involved? Does anyone, any kids, anyone? You guys crowd around.
Get around.
Today is the 5th or the 6th?
Oh, no.
5th?
It's the 6th.
Today's May 6th?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if the legislators are going to get a pen today because I got a lot of people that may. I'm sure their parents will just love that I'm giving them a permanent marker.
He's right by you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We're playing with the pool toys. This is also next to the candy aisle, just for reference.
All right.
This is her best first birthday.
All right. Who wants one? Who got
Oh, we're gonna need more
You
pens.
get one for the family? Okay, we have more, so we can get some more. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you want one? There you go. Anyone else? Okay, there we go. All right, Madison, you want to give one away to one of your friends? Give one away to one of the kids. Oh, good job. All right. Good job. All right. And we do have more pens. I'm going to sneak right over here. We have more. Where's the bag of the pens?
Here's a little guy right here who's so patient.
Okay.
Do so well behaved.
Do we have more? Have them bring more pens. So we're going to bring more. I got them coming. I made the call. So we're going to do it. Yeah, we got to give everyone a. I saw they had the big bag of them. Okay, here we go. All right, here you go. There you go. Who else? All right, we got more coming, right?
Here you go. Here you go.
Okay, here you go. All right.
Yes, behind you.
So patient. We're gonna get more.
There you
We've already
go.
got one.
All right.
Or if you need it, you good?
Who else?
He said thank you.
Anyone else?
So sweet.
Anybody else?
Wonderful man.
Who else? All right. Good deal. I think everyone got one. Okay. Good. All right. Who wants one? Here.
Let me just say this. We just handed out permanent markers to 5-year-olds. So it's a little problematic.
And we have had to deal with that where Madison's marking up Mason, and it's you got a lot of scrubbing to do. But we're excited about this. We're also excited about a lot of the other stuff that we've been able to accomplish. If you look at this most recent legislative session, a lot of wins. There's things actually I talk to people about they don't even realize. We actually did great reform of higher education this year. I think we're one of the first states. We now have all tenured professors must have a 5-year performance review every 5 years. And this is something that's really good. We also understood all the problems around the country with criminal activity because these areas have defunded or cut funding for police. They have prosecutors who will not enforce the law. They have weak policies like no cash bail, and they put dangerous people right back on the street. We reject all of that in Florida, and in fact, we signed last year legislation prohibiting local governments from defunding police, but we also this year did a bill to help us recruit people people from other parts of the country. So anybody that comes to Florida who's qualified to fill a position, state, county, or excuse me, municipal, county, or state law enforcement, you get a $5,000 signing bonus. And so people are really excited about that. And they are absolutely flooding. Applications are starting to flood into some of these people. I was talking to some police chiefs, like, yeah, we got a bunch of people because they know in Florida the community is going to support them, the governor is going to support them, and we understand how vital it is that obviously you get some money. That's not a bad thing. We also are very proud of really leading the effort in the country to make sure that our school system is for education, not for indoctrination. And that involves things like making sure every parent in Florida has the right to access the curriculum that's being used in their kids' school. You know, the left fought us on that, and I'm thinking to myself, why would you want to shut parents out and not give them access? Very significant. We also made sure that we're going to follow Florida standards. We're not going to let them inject ideology into things like math books.
Right.
So the Florida Department of Education flagged a lot of this, sent it back to the publishers. You know, a lot of the media was like crying, like saying they're like, oh, you know, you're banning these. No, we're not banning them. We're gonna do textbooks that suit our thing. But what happened is these textbook companies had to take the nonsense out of the math books. And so now they're resubmitting it that's math. You know, 2 + 2 = 4. It's not 2 + 2 and let's have a struggle session over that. That's just not what we want in Florida. We want to make sure that we're focusing on teaching kids to get the right answer and not being diverted by ideologies and other type of stuff that really isn't pertinent in any of this. And then obviously we believe, you know, parents have the right to send their kids to like kindergarten without having a lot of this sexual content injected into the curriculum. And you know, I think parents overwhelmingly agree with that. There's one company that's headquartered in Burbank, California, that didn't agree with that. And you know, at the end of the day, we run this state. They do not run this state. And so we're going to do what's right for parents. And we also said, okay, you can say whatever you want, but it's not the responsibility of Florida citizens to subsidize your corporate speech. And so the legislature did the first kind of first act of this with saying, you know what, this special government, we're not going to let that happen with one company having their own government. So what I can tell you for sure is, you know, we already are working on what we need to do for this and some other of these districts. But at the end of the day, Disney is not going to have its own government in Florida. Disney is going to have to live under the same laws that everybody else lives under in Florida. Disney will pay its fair share of taxes, and Disney is going to be responsible for all the debt it has racked up. That will happen. So anyone that tells you differently is not being honest about it. So we look forward to be able to outline those proposals in the coming weeks and months. And at the end of the day, we've got a lot of momentum, a lot of great stuff happening in the state. But I think we've done more than any other state to step up against the Biden-inflation headwinds, to give relief to our citizens. And we're going to keep on doing that. So thank you all. God bless everybody. We'll see you.
Governor, you missed that.
He knows that.